Well, here in Canada, summer is in full swing, and many of us are getting some needed mid-year relaxation or looking forward to it. Unfortunately, events haven't exactly allowed world watchers to kick back completely. Greek negotiators are perfecting the art of brinksmanship, holding global financial markets in an unwelcome suspense about the future of the planet's largest economic bloc. Not far away, negotiators of a deal between the West and Iran are stirring regional tensions and commodity price volatility. Here at home, searing weather and wildfires have gripped half the country. And then there's global growth, that ever-elusive elixir. It's a cocktail that's complicating another summer tradition, EDC's Summer Global Economic Forecast. From the current vantage point, what is the outlook for the world economy? Well, pundits are learning to dread these mid-year updates. For at least 3 years, this has been the moment of the ritual write-down, yet another disappointing first half that requires a huge second half performance to salvage a mediocre annual result. Plot the performance, and it looks like a pretty solid trend, like the low-growth new normal that many analysts expected. We would agree, except that the serial interruptions are in every case shocks to growth that were unforeseeable. Unless we believe that for some reason we are now in a global paradigm of predictable unpredictables, at some point our bad luck will run out. But for now, growth is lower with better days ahead. The predicament is well illustrated by the U.S. economy. Once again, it entered the year with lots of promise, only to run headlong into debilitating weather and a West Coast port strike. Those effects should be long gone, but in the aftermath, the anticipated dramatic rebound has yet to occur. It's not for lack of potential. The mighty U.S. consumer is being stoked by higher job and wage growth, an upbeat attitude, and a debt load that is fast melting away. But they are preferring to save more. Well into the year, sales numbers are very disappointing. Businesses are exhibiting the same paradox of thrift. Although industry has pushed the limits of capacity, firms are sitting on their ever-increasing money mountains, waiting for some evasive magic moment. We still believe that moment is imminent, but for the time being have lowered our U.S. GDP forecast to 2.4% this year, with hopes for a better 2016 at 3% growth. European reticence is more forgivable. Its litany of challenges gives rise to a prudence that prefers to defer purchasing and investment decisions until some future date. Notwithstanding its challenges, Europe has produced some impressive numbers this year. But doubtless the interminable wrangling over Greece's debt management plan during the spring and summer has wrung some of the revival out of the numbers. As such, we are forecasting a modest improvement for the euro area that will see growth hit 1.5% this year and 1.8% in 2016. Emerging markets will generally follow suit. News for these economies has generally been unfavorable for the bulk of this year. China's numbers have disappointed, owing to underperformance of trade and unsettling imbalances in the domestic economy. Our forecast now calls for growth of 6.9% this year and 7.1% in 2016. Among the other large emerging markets, only India can boast an improving picture. The rest are dealing with internal constraints and the effects of weaker than anticipated world growth. Altogether, emerging markets face growth of 4% in 2015, with improvements still expected next year as growth nudges up to 4.8%. Adding this to a modest expansion in the developed world gives world growth of 3.2% for 2015 and 3.8% next year. International trade will be the near-term engine of Canada's economy, given weak domestic fundamentals. As such, disappointing first-half global growth has affected our overall numbers, but better performance is in store. This improvement is forecast to lift bottom-line export growth from 0.9% this year to 7.9% in 2016, with exporters in all industries cashing in. The bottom line? Despite the disappointment of current world growth, without question, potential is strong. A paradox of thrift is holding us back. It's a potent threat, but weaker than rising growth potential. Until next week, I'm Peter Hall.